The Denver Broncos look like they should be Super Bowl contenders coming out of last season. Sean Payton is on the sideline. Bo Nix is under center. You are sporting the reigning defensive player of the year in Patrick Surtain, and a defense that ranks top 10 by efficiency. So how are the Broncos sitting at 1-2 right now? Well, it really comes down to the two ugliest truths in football. Sloppy situational coaching by Sean Payton, which y'all already know. You see the Saints gear. I love Sean. And the shaky quarterback play out of the second-year quarterback who Sean Payton drafted in Bo Nix. They're not necessarily getting outclassed, speaking of the Denver Broncos, but they're really beating themselves in the details of the football game. You look at the season, they have 2 one-score losses and just bad late-game execution. I mean, they blew winnable spots in week 2, in week 3, and if you look over the last 20 regular season games for the Denver Broncos, which Sean Payton has coached, which Bo Nix has started in, they're 2-8 in one-score games. That's something in the NFL that you have to at least be able to break. I feel like 45, 55% of those off into wins. And this year, they've already dropped 2 games by a field goal or less, third down failures, costly penalty sequence at Indianapolis, just too many penalties overall. I mean, 10 of them accepted in the Chargers' loss, and you're averaging around 34, 36% on third down. That's just really drive killers in all games this season for the Denver Broncos. They lost to 2 good teams on the road, so I'm not going to really sit here and crucify them, but they were definitely winnable football games. Now, thankfully, they're back home versus Cincinnati on Monday Night Football this week. But then they have a insane road trip to Philadelphia, who just had probably the win of the year, game of the year against the Los Angeles Rams. Bo Nix is just not looking good so far this year either. He is in a textbook sophomore slump. Pressing for passes, turnover-worthy plays are rising, not a lot of explosives down the field. You got to take a look at Sean Payton for that. And the rushing efficiency is way down as well. He's at a 41.8 QBR through 3 games, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and about 180 pass yards per game. So Bo Nix is showing flashes, but he's just not putting enough on schedule to actually make it believable with the Denver Broncos. And their defense is holding up. Before I get to you guys about EPA in the NFL, and if they track it in college, the reason EPA is so important, it measures the value of a play by determining how much it increased or decreased a team's likelihood of scoring points, considering factors like field position, down, and distance. An EPA of 0 or less is typically a negative play for the offense, while a positive one indicates the play was successful in increasing the team's chances of scoring. AKA, was this play positive or negative given the content of down, distance, and field position? And the context really matters because unlike traditional stats like yards, points, percentages, EPA gives you that context because a 5-yard gain on 3rd and 4 to get the first down is more valuable EPA-wise and situationally than a 5-yard gain on 1st and 10. And EPA accounts for this difference to where context really matters. It measures true value. It, again, helps determine the actual value a play added to the offense's ability rather than just looking at the outcome. And, of course, I give you this whole definition. Don't even have the definition typed out in front of me. Come on now. EPA in the NFL stands for expected points added. I wanted to say it said expected points allowed. But now, talking about all of that with EPA, the Broncos defense is holding up. And when you look at the contextual stats, by EPA per play allowed, they're 8th. In success rate allowed, they're 39%. In sack rate, they're 9.6%. In EPA versus the rush, it is a negative 0.13. That's a win with defense standard when it comes to the defensive stats right here with the Denver Broncos. So 1-2 is more about the offense and the penalties and the coaching more than it is that top-tier defense and the reigning defensive player of the year in PS2. Now, when you look at their schedule, a lot of the games are pretty winnable. You know, Kansas City twice. I think that they could split at least one of those with them, just considering how Kansas City has looked this year. You host Green Bay, and then you're at Washington and Philly. Not in that order, but all else is super winnable for the Denver Broncos right now. And you do have to take a look at Sean Payton somewhat. Like, there are penalties, there are late game management problems, and some play calling rhythms. After the Chargers loss, even Sean Payton came up to the podium, as he's always respectably done in his head coaching career, and said, "Look, that's disappointing. That's on me. I wasn't leading the guys well enough to actually be able to get a solid game plan out of them."